Well, the rumor is true. I bought a 6.2 liter GM Silverado that's under recall. The infamous L87 6.2 liter that everybody says stay away from. I bought it. What in the hell was I thinking? Well, it is true. I bought a new truck a couple weeks ago. I had to. Old Silver left me out in Lake of the Ozarks. That old girl's got 250,000 miles on her, and she didn't exactly give up the ghost, but I just don't trust it anymore. We'll get into that later. I bought a 2021 Silverado half-ton LTZ Z71 with not the 5.3 liter. I bought one with the 6.2 liter that's under recall. Yes, the famous L87 6.2 that is basically throwing rod bearings and eating the camshafts and lifters. And I've heard it all, I've read it all. Why in the hell would I buy that thing under recall? Well, this is going to take a while, so you might as well get a beer too. So basically what it comes down to is I wanted that motor. I wanted the 420 horsepower, the 460 foot-pounds of torque, the 10-speed transmission, the 12,000-pound towing capacity. That's what I wanted. It's not like I pull a lot of stuff, but I pull side-by-sides back and forth between Tennessee and Minnesota at least once a year, if not more. It's quite often I'm pulling a side-by-side down to Alabama, up to Kentucky, all over, and we've got other trips planned here. We're going to go out to Sturgis and ride the trails out there. And I've got classic cars, so there's a lot of times where those just need to be transported here and there. Would a 5.3 have done it? Yep, done it for years. I did it with the old 350s, the old TBI, the old carbureted. I mean, I've been pulling a trailer for years. The 5.3 would have been just fine, but I wanted that capacity. I wanted that horsepower. I wanted that torque. So it is what it is. So I did my research. I looked into this really hard and watched all the YouTube videos you've watched. I've read all the reports that you've read. I asked around. I asked some friends. I had a few friends tell me to avoid that motor like the plague. I had a few friends tell me they would buy one tomorrow if they were in the market. I had a few people to tell me to get the hell out of here before we call the cops on you. That's a different story. But I asked a lot of people, and I did my research, and I got everything from buy a Ford. That's not happening. Nothing against Ford. I'm not a Ford guy. I'm a Chevy guy. Nothing against Ram trucks, but not today, Satan. Not today. So I either had to choose from a 5.3 or a 6.2. And I had a few people tell me, go get that baby Duramax. Get that small, I think it's a 3-liter diesel, and here's why I didn't go with the baby Duramax. Basically, it's because diesel. I drove tour bus for years, and the smell of diesel gives me a headache. I hate the smell of diesel, and I don't really care how careful you are. It seems like when you own a diesel vehicle, you step in it, you get it on your shoes, you get it on your hands, you can bring gloves with you, and for some reason you just always smell like diesel. So screw that. I'm not dealing with diesel. I'm not dealing with DEF, and I just don't want a diesel truck. Why did I buy a 6.2 liter GM? Basically, I bought it because of warranty. It's just as simple as that. It's a 2021 truck that I bought, 4 model years old. It's got 37,000 miles on it. Can it still go out? Yep, it can still go out on me. But I kind of feel like after 37,000 miles, if bad things were going to happen, bad things would have already happened. And maybe I'll learn my lesson, and it still happens. This truck still has manufacturer warranty. I have a 1.5 years and roughly 30,000 miles left on manufacturer warranty. I have a 90-day dealer warranty, which whoop-de shit. And part of the deal was when I bought this truck, I got them to throw in a 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. So I've got those 3 warranties all stacked on top of each other. And I come to find out The recall, we should all be getting letters. If you own a 6.2, you should be getting a letter here shortly, basically saying that it's time to take your truck in and have it looked at. They're basically going to run a test on it, from what I understand. I don't know if they send your oil in for analysis or if you have to do that, but basically they're going to run some tests on it and tell you whether or not your truck is a piece of shit or it's not. So one of two things happens at that point. Okay, so they do the test on it and they say that it's junk. You need a new motor. You get a new motor. It's as simple as that. You get a new motor. Will you wait a few months for it? Most likely. But you get a new motor. If it seems that it's not junk and they're going to tell you to continue running it, they're going to change oil and put OW40 in it. We'll get back to that whole scenario. They're going to put OW40 in it, change the oil fill cap, send you along your way with a brand new 10-year, 150,000 mile warranty. So I just decided, hey, look, I got manufacturer's warranty, dealer warranty, and a bumper-to-bumper warranty. Now it looks like I possibly will either get a new engine or a 10-year, 150,000 mile manufacturer warranty. It's really a no-lose situation as far as I'm concerned. So OW20 versus OW40. Here's the results of the research I've done on it. Let me preface this with, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not ASE certified. I'm just an idiot that does a ton of research before spending a lot of money. Don't take my word for it. I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. These 6.2 liters in these GM trucks, the 6.2 liter in those trucks are essentially the same exact 6.2 liter that are in the Camaro and the Corvette, from what I understand. Now, if you look at the Camaro and the Corvette, those engines call for OW40. And the Silverados, Sierras, all the trucks call for OW20. Well, why would they do that? Well, because GM is full of cheap fuckers and the CAFE standard. Basically, GM has to pay the federal government fine for every mile per gallon they're over whatever cap the federal government put on it. So basically, they've come to the conclusion that running OW20 in these bigger motors, you get better gas mileage, whatever. So you're going to tank out the bottom end of a motor over 1 or 2 miles a gallon. Honestly, the first thing I did after I bought that pickup was I went and I bought OW40 and I changed the oil myself. I put OW40 in it immediately at 37,000 miles. Oil pressure doesn't read any different, doesn't perform any different, but it's peace of mind as far as I'm concerned, because once the recall hits, guess what they're going to do? Put OW40 in the damn thing. So GM, fuck you for putting OW20 in these trucks to begin with. Why? Why do it? Just drop down whatever MPG rating is on it and run OW40. Another thing that I found in my research on this is they basically tracked this problem, these main bearings, back to a plant in Canada. I think it was the Tonawanda plant that they tracked all this down to. So I don't know if it was a situation of a machine was out of calibration, if they got bad parts, or if all these were built on a Friday and Dave wanted to go fishing and he threw this stuff together and screw the tolerances, or they got built on Monday morning and Dave still hung over from fishing all damn weekend. I don't know what it is, but apparently they found the issue and they resolved the issue, and now the 6.2s are just fine. So I've also discovered that out of all the 6.2 liters that were made, only 3% actually have this issue. So in my mind, that's a 97% chance I didn't get one of those shit motors. 3%, 97%. I'll play the odds on that. So that's essentially what it comes down to, why I bought a 6.2 liter. The first thing I did was hook my trailer up to it, after I changed the oil, of course. And I drove 350 miles with my car trailer out to Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, to get my 2014 Silverado that's been sitting out there for the last 3 weeks. My dad was here visiting, he went with, and we drove out there and picked that piece of crap up. So I put that new to me truck through the ringer and I pulled that thing home on my car trailer. And I will say that 6.2 is impressive. It's just absolutely impressive what the performance is on that thing. I'm used to the old 700 R4s. I would knock them down on the drive and tow haul. There was no tow haul button on those. The 4L60s, 4L80s, I did the same thing. I'd hit the tow haul button, I'd pull it out of overdrive. Even my 5.3 has the 6L60 or 6L80, the 6-speed transmission. I did the same thing with that when I was pulling. I would put the tow haul button in, drop it down 1 gear. This one I wasn't sure what to do with. It's a 10-speed transmission, and it's got the tow haul button on there, so I turned the tow haul button on, and I dropped it down to gear 8, and it ran about 1,800 RPM at 65 miles an hour, and I thought that's about right. That seems to work. We're not lugging the motor, and we're not stressing the motor. I don't know if anybody's got any opinion on where you run these 10 speeds. Drop it down in the comments, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the correct thing to do is. GM's probably going to tell you to leave it in 10th gear. And that just feels wrong to me. Maybe that's exactly what you're supposed to do, but when you're pulling a 5,000-pound pickup on a car trailer, I don't know that we want to just be letting that thing idle down the road at 1,100 RPM. I got 13.9 miles a gallon with the trailer and the truck on the back for 350 miles back to Tennessee. That would do 70, no problem. It got a little dancy on me, little flippy floppy on me at about 75, so I literally ran it about 65 to 70 miles an hour all the way back. Like I said, just shy of 14 miles a gallon pulling that heavy-ass truck. You definitely know you have a load on there, but it was not working it at all. I mean, it really, truly is a great motor when it runs right. So knock on wood that this turns out in my favor. 6.2 L87 under recall. I mean, I've seen a lot of these trucks with 150, 180,000 miles on them. They're still going. And I know of one person back home in Fargo-Moorhead area that didn't even make it 5,000 miles in his tank, and then took 3 months to get a new engine put in it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I got the truck I wanted, and we'll see. So I only got a little bit of footage out there in Missouri when the silver truck crapped out on me. Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri is not the place to break down. Not that any place is desirable to break down, but the closest place to rent a car was Springfield, Missouri, which is a 2.5-hour drive from where our resort was. On a Saturday, there is no Uber, there is no taxi, there's only a ride service. It cost me $300 to get a ride to the Springfield airport to rent a car. The car rental cost me $700 because I wasn't bringing it back to the Springfield airport. I was dropping it off in Tennessee. Cost me $200 to have my truck towed from the resort to the Chevrolet dealership. So $1,200 into that nightmare. Spent the entire Saturday dealing with it. Both my wife and I were so burnt out on Sunday we got up and just packed and came home. I rented a SUV. I got a Kia Forte. The only thing about a Kia Forte I will say is I got 48 miles of the gallon in that little piece of shit. That's still not enough to make me want one, because key word here is piece of shit. I had to leave half my stuff in Missouri in my pickup because we couldn't fit it into that little piece of shit. And even the dog was pissed at me. Here's a few snippets from that little adventure. Well, not the ending to our anniversary weekend that we were looking for. My truck is going to sit here, right there. So once again, I find myself in Missouri with a broken down vehicle. What was supposed to be our anniversary getaway weekend has now turned into a 5-hour round trip fiasco to get a rental car. So I am on my way from Springfield, Missouri, back to the Ozarks, where my wife, my dog, and my pickup are. It's a shitty country song, isn't it? I do believe I will be pickup shopping next week. My advice is don't break down in the Ozarks, and if you do, just walk home. It might take you longer, but it's way cheaper. So that's it for our anniversary weekend that went to shit. We're burning through as much food and stuff as we can because we can't bring the cooler home with us, because the morons at Hertz Rental don't know what a small SUV is. And this is the cabin that we stayed at that I didn't really get to see that much because I ran around trying to find a rental car for about 24 hours. In a couple days, it'll be our 8th anniversary, and I guarantee you in 10 years or so, maybe 12, maybe 15, we'll look back on this and laugh. Until then, I have no laughter for this weekend.